see if it works. Good morning. Morning. Let's see. Just having some technical difficulties before. Affecting the chat. But it is Saturday morning, so I don't expect tons of people to be on anyway. It's Saturday morning. Jonathan, welcome back. I rebooted because I had some technical issues when I first went on. Yeah, and nobody was able to comment. And see, now we're getting comments. Okay, thank you guys. I'm glad I rebooted. Thank you guys for. And again, if you haven't heard, as of last night, Ken Rosenthal reported after that ghastly bullpen implosion last night. I mean, well, they did option out Yorbit Vivas. They optioned out Scott Efros, so they will get a new pitcher today. Who, I don't know yet. Good morning, chat. Ryan McMahon is going to be in there today. He'll probably be in the lineup. He's replacing Yorbit Vivas. That's the obvious fit. But Ken Rosenthal reported last night that the Yankees are pursuing Brendan Donovan. For those that know, that's the guy. He's been my number one draft pick for probably 2 years now. Not even draft pick, my number one pick for anything. Okay? He's the guy I would choose over anybody. So, now I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but Ken Rosenthal doesn't usually say, Yankees checked in on him. They check in on everybody. They're actually actively pursuing Brendan Donovan, as are the Dodgers. And remember what the Dodgers did last year at the deadline? They brought in Tommy Edman. He wanted to be in there, Brendan Donovan. So this could be a move even after the Ryan McMahon trade, and that's what he was clear too. Even after the McMahon trade, they're still pursuing Donovan. He can solve the leadoff hitter spot. He can solve a lot and again, he can move around the infield and the outfield like a Swiss Army knife. Good morning, everybody in the chat. And I can't think of that type of difference maker. I can't even count him on one hand, but he'd be one of them, right? And now, he does not solve any pitch problems. We know this. 100% no. They need bullpen arms. They need them now. They need them yesterday, right? There's no denying that. And Cashman, I hope he's on the phone around the clock. I'm sure he is. And they were in dialogue yesterday. I don't know how aggressively, but they're talking to the Twins about Joe Ryan and John Duran. Their ace starter and their closer. So that would be a seismic trade. That would require some serious pieces, but so would Brendan Donovan. And what is this? Oh, okay, leaves. I thought it might have been dead bird. It's leaves. So good morning, everybody in the chat. By the way, what's going on? And Chais, Siciliano, what's good? We definitely need help. I 100% agree. 100% agree. But keep in mind too, I said this a few minutes ago. Brendan Donovan. Let's just say they have a game like last night. Yankees have a lead, and then they cough it up. And this had nothing to do with Will Warren, right? He went 5 2/3, took him out and brought in the bullpen. The bullpen imploded. They gave up 10 freaking runs in 3 1/3 inning. The bullpen, 10 runs, right? That's why I can't wait for Luis Hill and Ryan Yarbrough to come back. Give him some arms. And Fernando Cruz to come back, right? This bullpen, a lot of our productive guys. I mean, we lost Jake Cousins for the year, Tommy John. We lost Fernando Cruz for like the last 2 months as well, also with an oblique injury that he sustained in the gym twisting with a med ball, right? So some wicked injuries, and it's hurting the bullpen. And you can even see Aaron Boone. He's like, dude, I'm done with this, man. I can't. What am I supposed to do? I get it. And again, so he can't do anything. This is Cashman's unfortunate job right now, is to supply him with guys that can be helpful right now. And and the rest of the season. And teams know this, so they're gonna try to fleece them, right? It's just that it's most operandi about the negotiations and trade deadline. Teams are gonna try and fleece other teams. GMs are gonna try and fleece other GMs. Just the way that it is, right? And who do you think we can get? For those that haven't heard, as of last night, Ken Rosenthal reported the Yankees are pursuing Brendan Donovan. And I'll go back to this too. He's a guy that the bullpen implodes. He's a guy that can act as a table setter to put them in a position every so often to come back, right? And not let it get to the point where 10 runs and they score nothing in between. Yankees did okay last night. They had 4 solo home runs. Okay. Scored 5 runs. Generally, 5 will win you a decent amount of games. When you give up 12, no, not so much, right? And again, this is not a slapdick offense here either. This is the Phillies, man. And they're going to add to this offense. They're going to add to this stable by the deadline. They're going to be aggressive, right? So it's not a team to just take lightly. Just like they can't take the Blue Jays lightly. And the fact of the matter is, if you play sloppy and you don't get some reinforcements, you're not going to be good teams, man. So we need Brian Cashman to do something. Yesterday it was a surprising deal. It was probably the best value he could extract at third base. So we'll see how that goes. It sounds as if he's going to be in the lineup today. So I'll be at the game, so I will get some live footage for you at the game. And I'll put it out and see how the crowd is reacting to stuff. So, and how the freaking team is playing. Because that's going to be, that's going to dictate how the crowd reacts. Okay? What we got in here? What's going on? Nathan, what's happening, brother? Good morning. What's up? Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah. I'm usually at the gym on Saturday mornings, training, but today, I did my strength training already in the garage at the house. Just doing my cardio here to finish up before I go inside. But I want to check in with y'all, see how you all doing, and smack the like button, everybody, if you haven't done that yet. I greatly appreciate this. Yeah. The bullpen does look tired. And again, you're 100% right. There's no denying that. None. Right? And this is what happens when you have a lot of your productive guys, like Jay Cousins. He would have been great. Tommy John. Fernando Cruz has been great. Injured. Right? Some of our key guys are injured, so they're forcing them to rely on overusing Tim Hill and Luke Weaver and Johnny Loaizaga. Like, and Ian Hamilton, Scotty Frost. And I think within the next week, there's 2 or 3 new faces in the bullpen. And 2 or 3 of these guys are going to be gone. Probably Frost, probably Loaizaga. That's my, if I had to guess, if I was a guessing or betting man, that would be my wager. I know some people don't like Mark Leiter Jr., but even he can come back and give him a little bit of value. But he might move on from him too for all I mean. I don't know. The good thing is, with the Ryan McMahon trade yesterday, the Yankees didn't have to give up any of their top prospects. Griffin Herring's a solid player, but number 8 and 21 is what they gave up. But they're both in high A. So they're not coming up anytime soon. What about Carlos Legrand? Hey, I don't know. Big arms, no doubt about it. But I don't know if they want to do that and have them come up and not do well and have an option in the mouth. They waste an option, these guys, right? These guys generally have 3 options once they come up. So I'm not sure they're willing to do that. I think they're going to be trying to trade for some frontline relief pitching at the deadline, and they're actively doing it. But we need at least two right now, like yesterday. We do. LaGrange got a big arm, but unfortunately, also we have to decide between his health and his talent. So he has a hard time staying healthy. Not as much as Henry Lalani, but that being said, depends on if you can get John Duran and Joe Ryan from the Twins. They were talking to him yesterday about both of them. That would cost a lot. And if you can get Brendan Donovan, that's going to cost a lot too. For those that haven't heard, the Yankees are right now, as of last night, they're actively pursuing Brendan Donovan, which surprises me. Pleasantly, but it surprises me. So are the Dodgers. And the Dodgers are always going to be continuing to try to add people. So you'll just keep recycling people left and right. So that's what happens when you have an ownership group that has $400 billion in assets. So it's like venture capital, just rinse and repeat. So, but that's again, I love Brendan Donovan. Everybody knows that, but he doesn't solve any pitching problems. So Brendan Donovan and pitching would be phenomenal. But they're also looking at Ahmed Rosario. They're looking at Willie Castro. Could they do, either Joan Duran and Willie Castro without Joe Ryan, or Joe Ryan, Willie Castro without Duran? Probably. Could they do all three? Maybe. It's going to cost a ton. But that's the unfortunate price they're going to have to pay now. And like I said, they didn't give up any of those big-time assets yesterday for Ryan McMahon. They would have probably had to do it in a multiplayer trade for Brian Hayes or for Suarez. I mean, the one reason why they didn't do Suarez is because the price was way too high. They wanted Jones and Schlittler. There's no way in the world. So, right? Mitch Keller's another one. Right? Mitch Keller or Joe Ryan. They're going to cost a lot. There's no doubt about it. Bichette's probably going to cost $100+ million. Something like that. And I'd be shocked if if they replace Volpe, it's going to be for George Lombard. And I think they may have made that trade yesterday with that in mind, right? Right now they're stable at third base for the next 2.5 years. And they're stable there. They got Jazz locked in at second, which leaves a lot of the focus on Anthony Volpe now. So he's going to have to perform, or if he might get replaced by George Lombard, right? I could see that. Donovan would play all over the place. He'd play infield and outfield. But I have zero doubt that it would cost Dominguez, right? He'd be willing to trade Dominguez for Steven Kwan. You better be willing to trade him for Brendan Donovan, right? He definitely would be part of a Donovan trade. Especially if they're looking to trade Lars Nootbaar as one of their outfielders, because he's also available apparently. So, and I'd be shocked to see them move on from both, but you never know. You never know. Right? Yeah, well, having McMahon at third gives Lombard time to develop. They don't have to rush him, right? And my guess is he's going to be the guy to step in. Unless Volpe starts to take serious steps forward, Lombard will probably be replacing him at shortstop. Right? No. He would be consistent. He would play franchise pretty much every day. Brendan Donovan. You could also, I mean, if you want him to stay at a stable position, then you're going to have to consider moving Volpe off shortstop. Right? I don't know. But again, like I said, if you can get a guy like Brendan Donovan, who's a difference maker, and that's the key, a difference maker, then you figure out what to do after that. You figure out Volpe, you figure out whatever else you need to figure out. Right? And it's just, it is what it is. He's He's one of the better hitters in baseball. He's one of the better contact players. And again, this guy runs the base reckless abandon. He's a solid defender. He's across the board. He's a difference maker on a base pass in the field and in the batter's box. Right? Yeah, I mean, this could very well happen. Franchise. Volpe being replaced by Lombard. If Lombard continues to progress and Volpe doesn't really show improvement, even though he hit a home run last night, good for him, Volpe, that doesn't change the bigger picture, right? The bigger body of work. Schwarber, yeah, I mean, Schwarber he's a perfect fit for Philly, that's for damn sure. But again, you gotta improve wherever you can. But again, like, none of these offensive players solve the pitching problem. So it's gotta be Donovan and arms. Whoever else and arms. If it's Castro and arms, Rosario and arms. They need 2 or 3 relievers and a starting pitcher. So that's why Cashman's working on multiplayer trades. And we will probably part with some players that we don't want to part with, but that's going to be par for the course. That's what it's going to cost. So, and Wells also hit a home run last night, right? Yeah. I think so. We know that the Yankees are fielding calls right now on Ben Rice, and they're fielding calls on J.C. Escara, right? So I could see one of them being moved, but I also see the logic in keeping Escara, because there are some pitchers there that really like working with him. And even Hector was reporting that the other night, that some starting pitchers have expressed frustration with Austin Wells' preparation before the games when he's a batting mate with him. So he didn't say specifically which pitchers, but by the way, speaking of pitchers, Sunday's game is going to be Carlos Rodon versus Zach Wheeler. That's going to be a good one. So Jesus Rodriguez, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be. Rafael Flores is probably ahead of him in terms of catching. I mean, like, catcher's not the biggest problem right now. Bullpen is. So they have to address bullpen and pitching before catching. No. And so I would expect in the next day or two at least a move or two to be made. Obviously, there's going to be a move that happens today because they optioned Scott Efros out last night, as well as Vivas. But we know the Vivas move is already Ryan McMahon, right? And when you option out a bat, you have to replace him with a bat. When you option out an arm, you have to replace him with an arm. That's just the rule because they have to be 13 and 13 on both sides. Roster rules according to MLB. So do they really? Catcher. They have a serious pipeline of catchers. Yankees. Serious pipeline of catchers. Mitch Keller or Joe. Well, either one of them is going to cost Ben Rice and more. We know that already. Right? So we will see. Yeah, and they have to figure out if Wells is going to stay. They got to figure out how to make him better in that area. I mean, if I'm Brad Ausmus and Mike Harkey, I'm working with this guy on a regular basis. Areas where you can improve around the margins. This is his job. He's a big boy. He's a grown man. He's an adult, right? So, by the way, we got 83 people in here. Keep smacking that thumbs up, gang. Let's try to get to